So, a quick question to everybody except Surbi, because Surbi was not in the last class, so it would be unfair if I ask her what did you do in the last class. But for everybody else, what we were doing in the last class, let's see how much you guys recall. Samhita. Anybody? Yes, Devans. We were talking about how do we factorize polynomials. So when we have expressions with higher degree terms, how do we break it down into smaller factors? And there was nothing like a theory to be learned. We just applied some creative approach for breaking it down. Yeah. And that is all based on how do we understand exponents, how do we relate the algebraic identity, how do we look at common factors and whatnot. So that's what we did for doing polynomial factorization. Today we want to start with a new concept, and that is on the occasion of Surbi being back. So since Surbi is back, we wanted to make sure that we start with a new topic so that it's beneficial for everybody. I mean, that was more of a dad joke, nothing to do with Surbi joining back. Every day I always try to figure out how do we pick up a topic that creates that excitement for the subject. So today's topic is, today's topic is how do we understand or learn the basic concepts of geometric series and sequence. Geometric series. Geometric series. Okay, so let me write it down because my Indian accent comes my way many times. Geometric series.
Oh,
Series. Okay, so Vasundhara, Thanu, Samhita are also here now, and initial 5 minutes of unproductive discussion is over, so Thanu joined just at the right time when I started talking about the agenda for today's class. So we are going to start talking about geometric series and sequence. I want to know what is that you guys are already aware of with respect to geometric series and sequence, and then I'll start giving out the onions. Yep.
So I know about like a geometric sequence, like I can't exactly say the formula, but it's a sequence where like it starts with a number and then it's multiplied by the same number each time as the sequence goes.
Okay, that's one definition. Anybody else wants to add some more color to it? Samhita, Tanu, Vasundhara. I'm sorry, brother? Yep. No, I'm not a big fan of formula. I can derive any formula on any given day. That's my confidence with the formula, provided if I know the concept. What is a geometric series? What is that we know about it? Why do we even have to bother about dealing with it? Okay. Devans, you wanted to add something more to it? Okay. Alright. So, now what I'm going to do is, I'll just send one message to one of the parents. Is Anushri coming to class? Alright, so let me get Ram house arrested and okay. So before I start, there's one thing I wanted to call out. First of all, a sincere apologies for bothering you guys with a lot of unwanted topics, unwanted discussions, or my dad jokes. But you guys are with me. I treat you guys like my kids, and I'll keep doing that always. Okay. And second thing is, I always feel that you guys are my true brand ambassadors. Meaning, if I'm a good teacher, a bad teacher, that is based on what you guys think about me. So that's very important. It's not an emotional statement. It's a very true statement. That if I'm relevant as a teacher or not, that depends on what you guys think about me. Okay. Now, I wanted to praise Thanu for one reason. Okay? What I'm hearing from her parents, that Thanu has been recommending my name as a teacher to many of the kids whom she is coming across. So some of the parents have started reaching out to me. Even Thanu's younger sibling is joining the class soon. So I just wanted to say thank you, Thanu, for your understanding, support, and considering me relevant as a teacher. Okay? And that is for all of you. Okay? You guys being with me in the class, that gives me comfort that okay, I'm relevant to you guys. That's why you're here. So when you spread the word, that makes me even more relevant. So thank you so much for all of you for being in the class, and thanks for spreading the word among the people who you love. Alright? Thank you so much. So let's continue. And I will try my best to stay relevant to you guys. That's the element of excitement. Alright, so we are coming back to Tanu, did you hear me okay? Bro? I was just praising you.
Yes, I did.
Okay, alright. I'm sorry, bro? I will start crying with that. If I get emotional, that becomes overloaded for me. Okay, so let's stay with math. I just wanted to say thank you to you guys because you guys are relevant for me and you make me relevant. Okay? Alright, coming back to what we wanted to learn. Geometric series. Now let's look at certain numbers. Let's not overwhelm ourselves with a lot of theory around things. Let's look at numbers in the simplest form. I have 1, I have 3, I have 5, I have 7, I have 9, and the story goes on. Then I have numbers like 2, 6, 18, 54, 162, and I don't know how to multiply 162 by 3 so quickly, so I'm stopping there. But there's a pattern that you are seeing here. Yeah? Vasundhara, Sangeeta, everybody can hear it, okay? So I have 2 set of numbers, and I'm not stopping here. I'm just continuing. I'm just tired of not writing the numbers coming after this one. So I have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, will go on. I have 2, 6, 18, 54, 162, and continues. There is a certain pattern that we see between this set of data and this set of data. Here, what do you see? Between any 2 consecutive numbers, the difference is 2. 1 to 3 is 2, 3 to 5 is 2, 5 to 7 is 2, 7 to 9 is 2. And if I have to predict the future numbers, I'll go with the same pattern. Likewise, if I look at this set of numbers, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 3 is 18, 18 times 3 is 54, 54 times 3 is 162. So if I have to predict the number that is going to come after 162, I'll just multiply that by 3 and I'll get there. So when you are looking at something as a starting point here, let's say A is a starting point here, and this is here the A starting point is, here my A as a starting point is 2, and here my A as a starting point is 1. Here what I see is between any 2 consecutive numbers there is a difference that is common across any 2 subsequent numbers. It's called common difference, CD, or for lack of simplicity, for just to ensure simplicity, we just use the term D. Here when I am looking at this sequence, I see starting number, then I am seeing a ratio. 6 to 2 is a ratio of 3. 18 to 6 has a ratio of 3. 54 to 18 has a ratio of 3. So there is a common ratio between two consecutive numbers. So when we are dealing with common difference between any two consecutive numbers, this is called arithmetic series, arithmetic sequence actually. This one is called geometric sequence. Now you will ask me why it is called geometric sequence. Is there any method to the madness? In case of geometry, what do we do? Mostly we deal with two sides of any shape and multiply that, right? When you are looking at a triangle, you are multiplying base times height and then multiplying that by half. Two sides, a square, it's a geometry. Rectangle, length times width. You are finding out area of rhombus, diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. So basically you are always dealing with squares. You are always dealing with multiplication thing. Okay? So I don't know if that is a lame definition or lame analogy, but simply put, this is called geometric sequence. This is called arithmetic sequence. Now let's try generalizing it. Let's say I am starting with A as my first term. My second term will be A plus the common difference. In case of a arithmetic sequence, AS, arithmetic sequence. Next term will be A plus 2D. Next term will be A plus 3D. And this just goes on. Okay? Then A is my first term and D is the common difference between any two consecutive numbers. Yeah? Similarly, if I am looking at geometric sequence, my first term is A. I am multiplying by something here. Let's say my common ratio is R, common ratio. Again I am using acronym for this one also. Instead of saying CR, I am using R as a common ratio. So my next term will be A times R. The term following that will be AR square, AR cube, and it just goes on. So whatever I have done for last 5 minutes, it was only to establish the difference between what is an arithmetic sequence versus what is a geometric sequence. More from understanding point of view. So if you come across the scenario where somebody says, okay, can you describe what is geometric sequence? You will say that geometric sequence is a pattern of numbers where there is a common ratio between any two consecutive numbers. Meaning, when you divide the next number by the previous number, the value that you get, that will be common across any two subsequent numbers. That's a geometric sequence. Does that sound okay? Everybody? Let me give you guys a little bit of riddle, because I know you guys came back from school after first day of school for many of you. So it might be a little bit, you might be in your, what do you call it? You might be in a zoned out state right now. Okay? So let's say, let me give you guys some practically relatable examples. Let's say I have a sequence 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and just goes on. Okay? So my first term is A2, and my here it's a geometric sequence, right? 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 2 times 2 is 64. So it's a geometric sequence. Is that agreeable to everybody? Yeah? Devans, Subhi, Kamita, Kanu, Sundar, everybody okay? Sikar? So it's a geometric sequence. What I want to do is, I want to make your life miserable. Here my first term is A, is 2, and my common ratio R is also 2. I want you to find out, if I say find out the 7th term, so this first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, you will say 128. If I say find out the 5th term, you will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th term, okay. If I say find out the 8th term, you will say okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th term will be 2 times of this one, 256. Wonderful. Yeah? I'm not happy with that. I want you guys to find out the 25th term. How would you go about it? So, don't try doing it. It'll eat up the whole time for the class. But what I'm trying to get you guys guided towards is that there's a pattern that we are seeing here. So if somebody says, find out the nth term, let's look at the behavior here. My first term is a, second term is a times r, third term is 8r to the power squared, ar to the power 3, ar to the power 4. First term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. Sixth term will be a r to the power 5. Seventh term will be a r to the power 6. Eighth term will be a r to the power 7. Ninth term will be a r to the power 8. And you must be thinking why he's just going on. Because I'll just read this one more time and you will get a sense of what I was trying to get you guys headed towards. First term is a, second term is a r to the power 1, third term is a r to the power 2, if my sound is echoing in your ears. Fourth term is a r to the power 3, fifth term is a r to the power 4. So any number of terms that I am talking about, it has a r to the power that minus 1. Third term, a r to the power 3 minus 1, 2. Fourth term, a r to the power 4 minus 1, 3. Fifth term, a r to the power 5 minus 1, 4. This is my ninth term. So if I am talking about nth term, a r to the power n minus 1. This is what I was trying to echo into your ears. So this becomes a method to the madness. If somebody says find out the nth term of any geometric sequence, your nth term of the geometric sequence will be a r to the power n minus 1, where a is your first term, r is your common ratio. So here a is 2, r is also 2. If somebody says find out the 10th term, t and 10th term, you will say a, which is 2 here. You first write down the formula, a r to the power n minus 1. What is my a? A is 2. What is my r? R is also 2. N minus 1. I am talking about 10th term, so 10 minus 1. So I am talking about 2 into 2 to the power 9. Or you can say 2 to the power 10. Yeah? So this becomes the method to the madness. That is the reason why I was reading these terms louder, so that you hear me enough to get tired of me, and that gets registered here. This is the ninth term. This is my second term. This is my first term. See, look at this. If I say what will be my first term, T1. First term, a r to the power 1 minus 1, or a r to the power 0. Any number to the power 0 gives me only 1. So my first term is a, as you can see. So this becomes a more generic way to represent any term in a geometric sequence. Yes or no? Should we, Sangeeta, did I make sense to that? Tanu, Vasundhara, am I sounding okay? Yeah, I'm not checking on my sound quality. I'm talking about how convincing I was. Yeah? Alright, Srikar, okay? Alright, Vasundhara? Everybody okay? So, coming back to this generic understanding that we built is, if I have a geometric sequence, what I'm talking about is, between any two consecutive terms, the ratio is the same. If I'm talking about arithmetic sequence, between any two consecutive terms, the difference is the same. So that we are not talking about arithmetic sequence in today's class, unless you guys want me to. But I'm just talking about geometric series or sequence. Okay. Now you must be thinking. So far you were talking about geometric sequence. From where did this geometric series come into the picture? What is geometric series then? What is the difference between geometric series and sequence? I can guarantee you, 80% of the math teachers also don't know. What is the difference between geometric sequence and series? They think it's the same thing. I mean, I'll be honest. When I was learning for the first time, I mean, that is an old story, 20 years ago, but I also thought it's the same thing. Why to bother? But actually it's not. These are two different things. Geometric sequence, when you talk about sequence, it is just a pattern. It doesn't define the boundary of it. Okay? Yes, Srikar, go for it. It's a when you define the boundary of it. When you so here's the thing. Let's say I have 2, 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, 96, 192, and just goes on. It's a geometric sequence. I'm saying sequence is nothing but a pattern. It depicts a pattern. It doesn't limit. It doesn't say that, okay, I have 20 terms here. It just tells you the behavior of what you're dealing with. Every subsequent term is multiplied by 2 against the previous term. Yeah? So it just shows the behavior. Now, when somebody says geometric series, they are actually talking about sum of a finite terms. Let's say this is a sequence. If somebody says find out sum of first 5 terms, they will call it find out the geometric series of first 5 terms. They are talking about adding the value of first 5 terms. So series is something which fixes the boundary and gives you the sum. Sequence just gives you the pattern. And if you guys hear a different definition of it, let me know. Yeah? Srikar, is that sounding different from what you heard before or same? Okay. So basically series is nothing but when you navigate towards adding the number of terms from a sequence. So how do we add? So I gave you guys the first surprise or first activity to bother you was by finding out the nth term, 20th term, 10th term or 50th term of the sequence. So if I say find out, this is my geometric sequence, find out the 200th term, 200th term, you will say what is my A? 3 into R, what is my R? R is 2. To the power 200 terms, 200 minus 1. This will be my value. 3 into 2 to the power 199.
6 power 199.
I'm sorry?
6 power.
No.
Wait, 6 power 200.
No. 3a into r to the power n minus 1.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah. Aditya, your camera started working. That's a good news. Okay. Alright. So everybody here. So if you have to find out the nth term, a into r to the power n minus 1. It's a geometric sequence. If I say find out the sum of 3 terms of this geometric sequence or find out the geometric series of 3 terms, I'm talking about adding up first 3 terms. That will be easy peasy, right? If I say find out sum of 3 terms, 3 plus 6, 9 plus 12, 21. If I say find out sum of first 4 terms, you will say 3 plus 6, 9 plus 12, 21 plus 24, 45. Life is so far manageable. I am saying find out sum of 22 terms. How would you go about it? Any idea, any clue?
3 times 2 to the power of
3 into 2 to the power 21. 22 minus 1. This is the nth term only. I am saying sum of first n terms. So this plus this plus this plus this plus this till you get to this term. This is only one term. This doesn't give you the sum.
20. Oh,
Ansika, any idea of that? Give me some clue. Ansika, Sulbi, Shikhar, Ivan, anybody? No?
wait, 3 plus.
Alright, so how much time do we have? We have 31 minutes. I can literally boil the ocean. Let's look at it. I have a geometric sequence A. I'm trying to generalize it, okay, so that we can use that general formula going forward. AR square, AR cube, AR to the power 4, and this journey goes on. Let's say till the nth term, AR to the power n minus 1. And that n could be anything. Depending on how much time we have, n could be 20, n could be 2 million, n could be 25 billion also. Okay? Let's not worry about the value of n. Everybody okay so far? So we are trying to find out sum of first n terms. That n could be anything depending on our need. Okay? So we are essentially trying to find out a very simple thing. Sum of n terms will be equal to A plus AR plus AR squared plus AR cube plus AR to the power n minus 1. Simple, right? Just one line of addition, that's it. Addition is something that you guys have learned long time ago. But the problem is we don't know how much is n, how far we have to add. So we are trying to generalize this. A technique for that, see, here this looks a daunting task. Yeah, because we don't know the value of n right now, and we are trying to generalize it. Sandita, Tanu, Vasundhara, are you guys with me so far? Am I making sense? At least with respect to what we are trying to find out. Yeah. Sandita, Tanu, and Vasundhara, and Aditya. Okay. Other case whom I am not able to see, and that's why I am calling out the names. Okay. But am I making sense to everybody so far? Okay. Now, I want to do some magic here. And that magic is, I would want to multiply sum of n with a r. And so what will happen is, a becomes a times r, this becomes ar squared, second term becomes ar squared, third term becomes ar cube, fourth term becomes ar to the power 4, and it becomes ar to the power n minus 1, and this now this ar to the power n minus 1 becomes ar to the power n. Yeah. Now I will do some magic. I will take this guy, okay, and move it one place. Okay? And then I will say I want to subtract this guy from this guy. So this minus, 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 minus. See what is happening? n, sum of n terms, this is what we have to find out, minus r times sum of n terms is equal to a, oh, these two are knocking out each other, these two are knocking out each other, these two are knocking out each other, these two will knock out each other, this guy will also get knocked out, and only thing that will be left will be ar to the power n, as you guys can see here. Only this guy will be remaining, because this guy also gets knocked out by this guy. Yeah. So life was looking a little more complicated because of ambiguity around the value of n. Now that is streamlining for us. Here, s to the power sn, which is sum of all the terms that we are trying to find out, is common. I take it out, it becomes 1 minus r. I am just taking out sn here. Similarly, I can take a out here, it becomes 1 minus r to the power n. So, sum of n terms will be equal to a into 1 minus r to the power n divided by 1 minus r. This guy comes here, that's it. So this becomes our formula for finding out sum of first n terms of a geometric sequence. Now if you guys want to go back to the story, let's go it from the beginning. Our objective was simple. I mean, this is my geometric sequence. A, AR, AR square, AR cube, AR4, AR to the power n minus 1. First n terms. We were trying to find out the sum of n terms. We just put all the things that we had to add and we gave it a value. Okay, sum of n terms is equal to this, which is equal to this value. Then we multiplied this by r. A became AR, AR became AR square became AR cube, so on and so forth. And the last term AR to the power n minus 1, when we multiplied this by r, this became AR to the power n. So this is what we had. After multiplying this, we shifted this thing by one place and then we subtracted from this equation. Okay? I mean, we just subtracted. I just shifted it so that you can relate to it, that's all. Yeah? So, sum of n terms times r minus r times sum of n terms became equal to a minus ar to the power n. Everything else got cancelled out. So, this became our new equation. So, from that we found sum of n terms equal to a into 1 minus r to the power n divided by 1 minus r. Did that sound okay? Convincing, relatable, understandable, or very good? Let me ask everybody one by one. I want to get credit for what I explained. No, but does it make sense? Yeah? Seeker, should we? How does it feel to deal with these things after a little bit of break? Is it overwhelming or is it exciting?
It's like, I kind of understand. This is like a topic.
Okay. So it's making sense, right? That's what I'm trying to understand, right? Because you guys are, when you guys are growing up, you have a lot of things happening in school. I know there will be a lot of priority items that you'll deal with, right? So whenever there is a break, let's say you miss the class, two classes and then you come back. My only attempt here is to make sure that when you guys come back, on that day when you are in the class, I'm making perfect sense to you guys. You have to relate so that it doesn't feel like I joined the class but I don't understand anything. And that will give me a guilt. That's what I'm trying to avoid. That's why I keep asking you guys, am I making sense or not? Okay? There's no other reason. Yeah? Everybody okay with that? Vasundhara? Vasundhara has not told me anything. I hope you are not angry with me. Right, Vira? Vasundhara okay? See? Vasundhara is not talking to me. Okay, alright. So that was a gradual, but yeah, coming back to the point that It's making sense to everybody, right? Sangeeta, Anshika, Tanu, Aditya, Ram. Okay. So I'm not even paying attention to what Ram says, okay? Because Ram is right in front of me. I just look into his eyes and I will know whether I'm making sense or not. Okay? Alright. So this is how you derive the formula for finding out sum of n terms or first n terms. Okay? You will see that this formula is written in some other ways also. Okay. And this notation is called sigma. Now sigma might be ringing the bell for many of you because you hear the term sigma quite often. Yeah? This is not a sigma. This is a mathematical sigma which doesn't have muscles. When you talk about sigma wave, that has probably a lot of muscles. Okay, so we'll not go there. We'll look at sigma as the mathematical sigma, which stands, it's a notation used for sum of certain terms. Okay, so you will see this term very often. Okay, so as we go navigate more towards high school mathematical concepts, you will come across the sigma more often. So those elementary schoolers or the middle schoolers who are taking sigma very lightly, they will see the gravity of sigma when they go to high school. Okay? Alright. So let's move on. Now we can see the application of this. Now let me give you guys some certain problems where you will be able to relate to it. Let's say I have a geometric series 7, 14, 28, 56, 112, 224 and just goes on. If somebody says find out sum of first 50 terms of the geometric series, a geometric sequence, or the question might say find out the geometric series of 15 terms or first 15 terms, meaning sum of 15 terms is what you have to find out. Let's see who all remembers what formula we derived 2 minutes ago. Let's give it a try. How much would, this is your geometric sequence, you have to find out the sum of first 15 terms. While you guys are dealing with it, let me dig through some interesting challenging problems. Everybody knows what we are trying to find out, right? Anshika, Divan, Sangeeta, Tanu, Vasundhara, Vidya, Sulbi. Give it a try. See, even if you guys go wrong, it's okay to go wrong. The sky doesn't fall, it will never fall. I am just trying to see how much we remain, how much we retain, and how do we apply what we know. Use the word, what do you get?
I got
200, 249,000 and 19. Okay, 229,639. 369. Okay. So this was more like a jump starter. Okay? So this is an easy one that I have given. I have found, I outsourced this task to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to tell me, give me some sample word, challenging word problems on geometric series. It has given me some. So we will see how we are going to use that, how we are going to solve those. Okay, but this one first. Sanvita, Vasundhara, Aditya, Tanu, Ansika, everybody. Give me what you guys are getting so that it will give me yes figure. Okay, same thing. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Tanu, Vasundhara, Aditya, Ansika. You got the same thing. So everybody will get the same thing. Okay, so this one doesn't excite me much. This is an easier problem because it is point blank. It is just saying that okay, this is your geometric sequence. We just have to verify whether it's a geometric sequence or not. 7 times 2, 14 times 2, 28 times 2, 56 times 2, times 2. So it's a geometric sequence when I multiply. So we have to find out first 15 terms. What is the formula that we learned? That sum of n terms is equal to a into 1 minus r to the power n divided by 1 minus r. And if you guys are thinking that I have memorized this formula, no, I did not memorize it. The picture of sum of n terms and sum of n terms minus r is still in my memory, which I was moving. And I know that after moving that, only I was left with r to the power n and a. So that's how I'm going to recall it. That's why I was proving the formula for you guys so that picture remains in your mind. And you'll be able to get to this one real quick. So up to you guys, how you want to memorize it, how you want to keep that in your memory. What is my a here? My a is 7. What is my 1? What is my r here? R is 2. 2 to the power n. You talk about 15 terms, 2 to the power 15. Divided by 1 minus r. R is again 2. So this became 7 divided by minus 1. So it becomes minus 7 into 1 minus 2 to the power 15. Now I will not worry about finding this out. This is something that calculator will do for us. This is where I appreciate the idea of giving calculator to kids, because you simply don't want to waste your time finding this thing out. Okay? So this will eventually give me a negative number, so that negative number multiplied by this negative number will become a positive number. And this, mostly I say that I don't trust you guys when it comes to math, but this time I will, so that I can avoid the need for multiplying this number and calculating. Alright, but it was an easy one. Yeah. Now let's look at one interesting word problem which should make us stretch our neurons to think about the solution approach. This is a word problem relating to geometric sequence. A university establishes a scholarship fund with an initial contribution of $12,000. At the end of each year, the university contributes 85% of the previous year's contribution. If this continues for 10 years, how much money has been contributed in total? I will read it 2 times. So you guys have to pay attention to what I'm saying. A university establishes a scholarship fund with an initial contribution of $12,000. So the university establishes a scholarship fund with an initial contribution of $12,000. At the end of each year, the university contributes 85% of the previous year's contribution. If this continues for 10 years, how much money has been contributed in total? University establishes a scholarship fund with an initial contribution of $12,000. At the end of each year, the university contributes 85% of the previous year's contribution. At the end of each year, university contributes 85% of the previous year's contribution. If this continues for 10 years, how much money has been contributed in total? I think I have read it enough. If anybody is not clear about the question, let me know. Otherwise, I will let you guys deal with it. And this time I'm changing my stance a little bit. I'm more interested in how you guys are thinking about the approach of this solution. Okay? So even if your answer doesn't match, I would not really care. I would care more about how you are putting your thoughts together. So initial 3-4 minutes for you guys to put your thoughts together, get a structure to it, and then give me your story. Calculation you can skip. Everybody has heard the question, right? Okay. Yes, Sangeeta. Initial contribution. So I will go by what is mentioned in the question. So I'll just read it for you, okay? So that there's some hidden message here, right? So that's why I'm kind of trying not to give you a clue so that you think about it by yourself. A university establishes a scholarship fund with an initial contribution of $12,000. So the day when it was established, somebody put $12,000 and they got the ball rolling. At the end of each year, the university contributes 85% of the previous year's contribution. If this continues for 10 years, how much money has been contributed in total? Yeah? Sangeeta, does it sound okay?
I think so.
Okay. Alright. Yes, Devas. Can you read it for me one more time?
4,000 times 1 point 1 plus 0.15 the 10th power divided by 1 plus 0.15.
Okay, we'll see. So yeah, like Devas got some formula, okay? So let's stick to that formula form. Let's not stress out for doing the calculation because that will eat up a lot of time. I certainly want you guys to put focus on the concept side of it. How about you?
Still thinking.
Okay. Let me see if this guy is still awake or yeah. So what's happening here? What is going in your mind right now? Tell me.
I'm figuring out how to set up the formula.
Okay.
So I'm still thinking, but I kind of have a
Oh.
song.
Okay. Yes, Ansika.
That outstanding number divided by 1 minus 1.8 raised to the power 10
Tanu, Vasundhara, Aditya, Srikhar, Ram. What you guys are leading towards. So just because we have only 7 more minutes left, okay. So what I'll do is, let me join you guys as a student. Okay. Now I'm trying to solve this problem, and I'll go with the same approach. Read the question first, and then based on what I understand, I will start putting it here. Only difference you guys might see is I will probably go a little bit more granular, okay, because my antenna, right, the receiver of your brain, is a little rusted with age. So I will try keeping it as simple as possible so that I don't presume anything and I don't get lost in my own calculation. So this says a university establishes a scholarship fund with an initial contribution. This is the day when it was established with $12,000. At the end of each year, the university contributes 85% of the previous contribution. So this is start. After first year, 85% of this. At the end of each year, the university contributes 85% of the previous year's contribution. So this was the contribution in the beginning, which was considered as the previous year contribution after end of first year. It says if this continues for 10 years, how much money has been contributed so far. So this is first year. This is end of second year. It will be 85% of this value. Third year, 85% of this value. Fourth year, 85% of this value. So when I look at this one, this to me looks like a compound interest formula also. There are two ways of looking at it. Okay, one is like a geometric sequence or like a compound interest formula. Any which way is okay. No, compound, I will not forget compound interest formula, that will get me confused. So this is okay. And then 10th year is 85% of 9th year. So how does it work? First year is 12,000. 85% of the first year. So 85 by 100 of 12,000 or 0.85 of 12,000. This is again 0.85 of this whole thing. So 0.85 into 0.85 of 12,000. So first year has nothing, second year has, beginning has nothing, after 1 year is 0.85 into this, second year has 0.85 square into this. So now if I look at this like a geometric sequence, yes it is geometric sequence, this is my first term A and my R is 0.85 and this, if this is my first term, I am going to have a total of how many? This is first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. So this one will be my 11th term. Yes or no? This is my first term. This is my second term. So first year, end of first year is second term. End of second year is my third term. End of third year is my fourth term. End of fourth year is my fifth term. Starting from 0 after 1 year, this thing, right? So this 0.85 is getting applied 10 times. So basically, this one is my 11th term, which is 12,000 into 0.85 to the power of 10. So there are total 11 terms here. You shall look at the sequence. So here is not 10,000, it is 12,000. So basically my A is 12,000, my R is 0.85 and my number of terms is not 10 but 11. That is what I was insisting on. If you look at this as a geometric sequence, this is your first term in the beginning of when this fund was established. So after 1 year, this is your second term. After 2 years, it is a third term. After 3 years, it is a fourth term. So after 10 years, that is the 11th term. So total 11 terms are there. So when you are doing your calculation, you will not keep n equal to 10, you will keep n as 11. And let me give you guys 10 seconds to think about it before I move on. Yeah? No? Okay. Let me do the dirty job here. This is the initial fund on day 0. And this is saying that after end of every year, 85% of the previous year's contribution is added. So after 1 year, 12, I will, come on. After 1 year, 12 grand into 0.85. 2 years, 12 grand into 0.85 square. 3 years, 12 grand into 0.85 cube. 4th year, 12 grand, 0.85 to the power 4. 5th year, 6th year, 7th year, 8th year, 9th year, 10th year. 5th year will have 12 grand into 0.85 to the power 5. 6th year will have 12 grand into 0.85 to the power 6. Yeah. Now look at how many terms we have. This is my first term, 12 grands. Second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term, seventh term, eighth term, ninth term, 10th term, 11th terms. I am talking about 11 terms here. If I am looking at this as a geometric sequence. Yes or no? So if I am trying to find out the sum of this one, it will be sum of 11 terms where A is 12 grands or 12K times 1 minus R, which is 0.85. My R is 0.85 to the power of 11 divided by 1 minus R. 1 minus R, and R is 0.85. So the only thing I wanted to call out here was, when you just go by this problem might sound like we are trying to calculate for 10 terms, but actually here we are calculating for 11 terms, because this is your initial term. After first year this much, after second year this much, after third year this much. So by the time you come to the third year, you have how many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time you come to the fourth year, you have 5 terms. By the time you come to sixth year. So that counting, which is not so complicated, but if we don't think that in the simplified form, there is a chance of an oversight. Did that make sense? Shikhar, Devans, Sanvita, Ansika, Tanu, or not really? Yeah? Yeah. So, that's why I keep insisting on this. Think like a child. Or think like an old man, like me. And see again, it's very easy to get tempted. Oh, there are 10 terms. Let me calculate. But actually there is one hidden term that we might overlook if we don't do that scratch work or the dirty work that I keep talking about. Okay? Alright, with that being said, I'll let you guys go and we'll meet again in next class. Yeah? Have fun.